Thanks for dropping by Nerdorama Retro Nostalgia. This Game Boy has a lot of problems. Let's go. Amongst its many problems, this Game Boy's got no screen. It has battery terminal corrosion. It's missing the video cable clip connector. There's no volume wheel. There's no speaker. There's missing capacitors and displaced capacitors. I'm not going to get very far unless I can get the cable holder into the video connector. So it does come out. I'm hoping I can just get it out of that socket without breaking it. Maybe I need to open here so I can get at the bottom. That's going to be tricky. Oh, wow. Okay. Will that let me push it out maybe? I wasn't planning on using this connector, so that's fine. Just need to get this out. All right. We have one end out. Okay, here's our removed clip. Now to get it in. The best that I've been able to do is this side has finally clipped in. This side, I lost the leg. It's a tiny bit of plastic, it's very brittle. I couldn't get it to clip in there. So I'm hoping that this side will be enough to provide pressure along so that when I plug in the cable, we maintain contact. Let's keep going. I've removed the board from the case because I don't want to bump it and melt any of the plastic. To remove the battery contacts, I'm going to add some flux so we get good heat transfer. I'll add some fresh solder and see how I go with the solder wick. This is actually the most successful I've ever been with solder braid. Give it a quick clean, see how we're looking. This one has gone in a little bit. Ooh, I now have all the battery contacts out. Let's clean them. That was my first time removing battery contacts. It took me much longer than expected, but I was successful. To clean them, they're going to need a shot of vinegar. I'm going to let that sit for a few minutes and then hopefully we get some good bubbling action. Quick cleanup now of all the flux. Now, I'll tidy up where this capacitor was removed. Hopefully I can still access a clean pad under this gunk, and I'll replace these two capacitors while I'm here. So it looks like most of the pad has been lifted, but we still have this tiny bit there. This pad looks pretty much intact. I'm hoping that I'll be able to add enough solder here to make contact with that to add the capacitor back. I'm going to remove the other two capacitors first. Hopefully the method I'm about to use won't cause any damage to the board, and then we'll put all three back on. While the twisting method looks a bit scary, you can see the difference between that removal and that removal there. I'm going to add some fresh solder to all of the pads and reattach the capacitors. Looks terrible, but maybe it'll work. I'd actually been recording for 2 hours, so I've just had a little nap and now I'm ready to continue. Since everything's just been so quick and easy, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to have a look at the volume wheel now. While I'm here, I'm going to try and get this capacitor that's been blown out of place back into its correct position. begin to describe how tiny this thing is. There's the capacitor on my fingernail for an idea of scale. Oh, where did that? You've got to be kidding me. Well, that capacitor has gone. There's just no way I can find it in this room. It is tiny. I decided to press on with some things that I could still do. So here I am cleaning the battery terminals. I took them out of the vinegar solution, gave them a nice brush with some fresh clean water, and then I moved on to some isopropyl alcohol to give them that final shine, and overall they look a lot better than when they started. The battery terminals were much easier to get in than they were to take out. I just had to add plenty of flux and then let it soak up all of the solder so it would attach to these big terminals. This capacitor was much larger than the one I'd attempted previously, so it went on without too much trouble. It was just a matter of making sure I had plenty of solder ready, getting it heated up, and then it attached to the board no problem. Nothing fancy going on here, just giving the case a good deep clean with some isopropyl alcohol. There was quite a bit of residual glue from where the previous screen had been removed, so I made sure that I gave that area a really good working over with the Q-tips so that it could be ready for the new screen. I don't think this Game Boy had been stored in the best condition, so there was a lot of dirt and a lot of grease and stuff like that had just been caught in basically every nook and every cranny, so it did end up looking better by the end. The case is looking a bit better, but I think I need to give it a soak. I'll be back in a few days when I can get those capacitors and then I will continue. So it's the next day. You can see my hair's not done. I'm wearing my comfy house shirt, but I wanted and I needed to give some closure to this video. There's just no way I could have attempted the screen replacement without the two missing capacitors. I've ordered the parts from overseas, but it's going to take quite a while. This popped up on Facebook Marketplace last night, so let's take a look. An actual working Game Boy with all of its parts. Here's the plan. Take this board out, swap them over. The working board's now in there. I will attach the new screen modification to the working board. Hopefully that all works. When my new capacitors come in, I'll put them on the board and see if I can get this board working with the screen that I know works. Got it? Here's a look at the original Game Boy Color screen. Our donor Game Boy's open. This one has seen much better days than the other one. We still have our lovely plastic connectors intact here on the video cable. All of our capacitors are still accounted for as well. Battery contacts look nice and clean as well. We've got the speaker. Now I'll very carefully remove the donor board and even more carefully unclip the LCD cable. This is going to stay intact, but now I'll add the old board in, ready for future repair. So I've just noticed my original board is an 01 model and this is an 04 model. I'm hoping it shouldn't cause any problems with doing a screen upgrade for this one, but I do hope that this screen will work with this model. We'll find out when my capacitors arrive. Here are all the parts for the new screen. I'm just going to go step by step and very slowly. I've gone old school and printed my instructions. The first step was to attach this ribbon cable to the PCB. I don't know why I thought I could do it without using the microscope. As you can see from the size of my giant fingers, it was very small. Unfortunately, my overhead camera automatically stops every 30 minutes and I forgot to restart it. I was able to install this ribbon cable quite easily and the other cable went into this connector quite nicely. I've attached the double-sided sticker that's going to be used to keep the screen in place. This sticker goes on to make sure that there is no short with the metallic part of the LCD and the PCB that gets folded over it. I've exposed the double-sided sticker now, and now it's time to pop the screen on and just check that it is as straight as possible. The screen is in, I've folded up the boards in the back, and I've installed the vision cable and clicked it in. There's not really much else I can do, so if it's going to work, it's going to work, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. So I'm going to pop the screws in and see how we go. It should come as no surprise that I dropped one of the screws, and as I bent over to pick it up, I saw this piece on the floor that I had almost missed. It's in, it sits there, it must be some form of pressure sensor, I don't know how it works. Let's get the board back together. The buttons are in, everything's in. Time for the live test. Hold your breath. Pray to the Nintendo gods. I really hope this is going to work. Let's peel off the plastic. 3, 2, 1. Ooh! That could just be a cartridge issue. Let's try it again. Yes! Oh, look at it. All right. Do my buttons work? Oh, the colors are very vibrant. Not very good. Ha! Oh, okay, so we have brightness control. All right, this top sensor. Brightness control. Sweet. There you have it, a successful LCD screen upgrade, and the fact that it was successful for me, that says something. I made a lot of mistakes, but bear with me, I'm only just starting out on my retro console repair journey. Thank you for watching, please give me a comment, please subscribe, please like this video. There's going to be a channel giveaway when I reach 100 subscribers, and you need to be a subscriber to enter. I look forward to seeing you all again soon for some more Nerdorama retro nostalgia.